This is the clash between Amir, who likes to be known as King Shah, versus Chris Planche. Planche, the slightly older of the two at 47, he's a youth worker. Hopefully he won't be wearing his glasses in the actual fight, or heaven knows what will happen. Shah, 34, an office worker. Looks pretty mean in his photo. Will he be as mean in the ring? We shall see. Shah in the gold corner tonight. Planche in the black corner. And here comes Shah for the gold corner. Steps in with an air of
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger in the black corner, age 47, a youth worker. Please welcome Chris Planche.
Three there just about. Planche looking very serious. Warming up. Showing his gum guard. Here we go. Shah here really using his feet quite a lot more than Planche. Moving around, bobbing his head a little. Showing that clearly the 10-week course from the Challenge Boxing has shown him how to move around a ring. Just an exchange of punches here. And who knows how long this fight will last. Shah has come in very much the aggressor here. Just working that left-hand jab. Mixing it up between body shots and head shots. Clearly Shah's been taught well here. And Planche so far really not responding with very much. Trying to get in towards Shah, but Shah clearly having the slightly longer reach and so far making the most of that fact. Planche there just stumbling forward slightly, not quite as sure on his feet. Shah is nearly 13 years younger than Planche. And perhaps this is starting to show. Lovely underhand strike there from Shah, who's really mixing it up here. It's been a combination of body shots, head shots, a couple of hooks, and even the odd jab from Shah. So Shah really mixing up and keeping his opponent guessing here. Lovely hook there, just made contact with the head guard of Planche. Planche stands his ground. Full respect to Planche. He doesn't seem too wavered by the attack that Shah set on him. Shah looking a little bit puffed out. Possibly not a bad thing, as he has shown some real skill there in the ring. Just the replay. Shah not quite making contact with that left hook. Here he comes, overhand with the left. Just ever so slightly. Lovely jab there from Shah. So slightly rumbling Planche, but Planche very much sitting back on his heels and taking the punches well.
Seconds out, round 2.
Round 2 of 3 begun. Begins with the bell. Shah yet again coming in very aggressively. Question is, will he run out of steam before the end of the fight? We shall see. Planche just sizing up his opponent. Both fighters there exchanging shots. Defense was done away with. It was just a pure punching fest for about 4 seconds there. Planche, very good footwork. First looked like it might have been a stumble, but actually he may have just been circling his opponent, in which case that was very good movement from Shah. Referee just breaks him up, checks with Planche on his head guard. Planche seems to be okay, and the fight continues. Powerful shot there from Shah. Shah just waiting, looking for the gaps. Planche, got to be careful there. Came over on the back of the head slightly, but Shah did bend over, which is not the best tactic when you've got someone who's been on a 10-week training course learning how to punching at you. You need to have your defense up, protect yourself at all times, as the famous saying goes. Planche, just for the first time in the match, starting to show a little bit of aggression. Shah does seem to be quite tired, and Planche seems to have recognised this. He's interesting from Shah there, really dropped his guard. Is that out of tiredness, or is he just stopped focusing? Planche seems to have realised this, and he's really starting to come back now. Planche backing off there. Sorry, Shah backing off there. Planche just coming over the left hand. Well, that was very interesting. There's a strong argument for that. The favour of the fight there has flipped in the second round. Round 3 coming up, but round 3 will be very interesting. You'd have to give the first round to Shah, without a doubt. But the second round, we can't be so sure. Good movement there from Planche, just ducking Shah's long arms that are coming in. Shah really seeming to start to hold on to Planche. Bit of a jab there from Planche. Didn't seem to make too much effect. But Planche now really just starting to pick his gaps, work the body, work the head. Planche really coming in there with some good, strong body shots. Shah does look quite tired by that.
Seconds out, round 3.
Bell goes for round 3, the final round, the third fight of this evening. Shah just again throwing that jab. Both boxers seeming to have recovered slightly, but this could change very quickly as their cardio will be tested in this third round. As we've seen with all the fights so far, the third round is really telling. It comes down just as much physical ability as it does heart. Younger referee of the two here tonight. Just getting out the way as the two boxers exchange shots. Shah looking slightly rocked there. Shah really starting to take a few punches to the head, and he turns slightly. Shah can't handle this. Planche really laying into him here. Well, this third round really looks like it's starting to go Planche's way. If you give the second round to Planche, it may be that Planche has completely turned this around, and from a complete domination in the first round from Shah, Planche may actually have turned this around enough to get a win, but we shall see. It's all going to come down to these last 30 seconds in round 3 here at Whitchurch. Shah just seemingly starting to talk to Planche. Perhaps that was him moving his mouth slightly, but he does seem to be saying things. Is that psychological warfare? We can't be sure. 15 seconds now. Shah still throwing a good few shots, but it seems he's just a bit too tired. But Planche plugs on. Both fighters know they've got to do something in these last 5 seconds. Shah coming back with some shots. Planche really going now, putting the jabs in. And that's it. Well, what a fight. Referee clearly also quite surprised and congratulating Planche on a good fight. One would have to argue that Planche here has really turned this fight around, and what was definitely a first round win for Shah has been absolutely decimated by Planche turning around. This will be very interesting to see what the decision is. Will the judges have noticed Planche's complete and utter comeback? Or will they like that first round from Shah enough to give him the win?
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the third fight by majority is in the black corner.
And it is Planche! Well, if you told someone at the end of that first round that Planche would be the winner of this fight, they'd have laughed at you. Shah actually showing. Planche just holding his fingers up there, saying it was a very, very close fight, congratulating Shah. Shah clearly disappointed. And quite frankly, Shah probably should be, because he started very, very strong. What let him down was his tiredness. Shah's cardio just wasn't up to the 3 rounds. If this had been a 1-round fight, it would have been Shah's.